what no one fully expected, other than until we got closer to the season and I started to read about him, was the new superstar in town with his Mr. Suzuki, who freaking can't do anything wrong right now. It's amazing.
Well, you brought up Wilson Contreras, Javi Baez's best buddy, but he did say this week that Seiya Suzuki is in fact the best player he's ever played with in all his years.
Oh, whoa! The
That
bomb is dropped.
includes his best friend Javi Baez. That includes Jake Arrieta, who had probably the
He's
best
officially
year and a
retired.
half. Yeah, best year and a half that I've seen in any Cubs pitcher have. Into
That
2015,
was
into
that was
2014
insane.
actually through 15 and through 16.
Insane.
So, and that includes a lot of players that he kind of uh, Contreras kind of dissed in a way, but I don't know. He's embracing maybe a prisoner of the moment, embracing the moment, being a good teammate to his brand new teammate, Seiya Suzuki, who is in fact the NL Player of the Week this week. He is now cruising at a 387 batting average, a 1400 OPS, 4 home runs, 11 RBI.
I mean,
Kind of off to a good start. I think I brought this up last week, where you worry about any free agent coming to a big town. There's pressure on him, but a free agent from another country, there's pressure on him. You see him, famously fail a lot of times. They put too much pressure on themselves, and especially when they don't get off to a good start, that can kind of snowball and get out of control. Well, not only is he getting off to a good start, he's getting off to one of the greatest starts in history, as he was on pace for 16 WAR this year over the first 2.5 weeks. That would be better than the best WAR in history. Babe Ruth, I believe it was 1927, had a 15 WAR.
oh
Say
shit,
it.
Babe Suzuki.
Suzuki was ahead of that. Now his the last 2 games, I don't think he has some walks, so he's kind of tailed off a little bit. So we don't need to get too carried away with that. But I
Oh,
guess the
let's get
point
carried away.
the point being is he's off to a great start, and that is can't be anything but good news. Just to take the pressure, anything off of him. He has been far more than I think even the most optimistic Cubs fan could hope for. He's fun to
It's
watch.
you, yeah. I mean, it's worth, like, if your team's not on and the Cubs are on, it's worth tuning in at least when he's up at bat anyway. Although the Cubs haven't been playing terrible. I mean, they're treading water right now, but
500,
you
just like your
know,
stocks.
yeah, I don't know if you remember our conversation a few weeks ago, how Baseball Prospectus had said he how they were going to have to alternate how they measure Japanese players if he didn't live up to what they were projecting, as the way he played in Japan versus other successful players in the US was way above, from a power standpoint than a Matsui or whatever. And so far it's dead on to what they were talking about.
I think that's a really interesting thing. I wonder if it's literally the analysis, the sabermetrics, the pitch tracking, Statcast, all that stuff is trickling into the Japanese leagues as well, and everything can be measured. The competition's going to be different, but the tangibles, the actual empirical numbers, you can extrapolate better than we ever could. So I wonder if those projections are just getting better just because the way we can measure things is getting so much better. Because like you said,
Right.
like to your point, it's been wildly either underestimated or overestimated on Japanese players coming over. Suzuki was Ichiro was the greatest success story probably, besides maybe Shohei Ohtani now. Um, but for those guys, you have Fukudome, who never panned out at all. You have Kaz
Well, he
Matsui.
did. He did. There was an article saying people slowed down on Suzuki because Fukudome did have a 330 batting average after the month of April.
Okay.
But then someone noted that he didn't even hit his second home run until sometime in May. So
Yeah.
maybe it wasn't a good comparison or something
Yeah.
like that.
Well, but he's
Uh,
just there was so much hype around him and so much. So it's like kind of a, Cubs fans are a little bit nervous about things like that, and that's so ridiculous in a way, just because it's someone 15 years later from Japan. There's
Right.
nothing to do with that, but to your point, I think the measurables are we are getting so much better at measuring things that maybe there's much less mystery or much less variance as we've seen in the past. We kind of know what we're getting at. Although again, I don't think anyone expected this much out of Suzuki so soon, but it's nothing but a positive. So it's super cool to see.
True.
And congratulations on his NL Player of the Week.
Word Hole Media.